Professor Black, why is it that Charles Ferguson makes this movie, Inside Job, reaches the conclusions that he just offered to us, portrays them in a documentary, and not a single individual has been indicted, prosecuted, or let alone have we recovered any of the money that's been stolen? In fact, the system that does this has been perpetuated, and we're being lied to by people like Chris Dodd telling us that it's been fixed.
Well, as you know, I've been saying this for 2 years, and it doesn't change. We know that unless the regulators serve as the Sherpas, they have to do the heavy lifting, and they have to serve the guide function, the FBI will be completely lost. And we know the regulators filed 0 criminal referrals at 2 of the major banking agencies. We got over 1,000 felony convictions of elites in the savings and loan debacle, which was maybe 1/40th the size of this. None of that is happening because the people in charge don't look. We know that the FBI formed what it calls a partnership with the Mortgage Bankers Association. Now, that's the trade association of the perps. And guess what the trade association said? Hey, we're the victims. None of the bad stuff happened because the lenders wanted to engage in this fraud, and the FBI believed them, if you can believe that.
Do you think, Professor Black, that the President of the United States is aware of the gravity of this crime and is complicit in effect in ignoring it?
No, I don't think he knows. He has any idea. I think he has advisors, Summers and Geithner, who tell him the opposite, that fraud is just a distraction and that we need to get on with the world. They're completely missing the causes. This is the financial equivalent of don't ask, don't tell. And they didn't ask and they didn't look for a good reason. Because if you were an investment bank or if you were Moody's and you actually looked at the underlying, you would have found that the underlying mortgage had fraud incidents in the 80% range, and you couldn't have sold any of this toxic waste if you looked. So they made sure that they never looked.
It's the end of September 2010. We accept the set of problems. How do we continue our efforts to move towards solution, Professor Black?
First, fire a bunch of people. Fire Geithner, Summers, and the heads of every banking agency, regulatory agency, and the SEC. Get people in who actually believe in prosecuting and do what was done in the savings and loan. You work together, you create a top 100 priority list, so you go after the most significant cases instead of the most trivial cases. Get rid of Attorney General Holder, who's been unwilling to prosecute and bring the tough actions. And look, use the federal banking agencies under new leadership to take a scientific sample of the underlying mortgages on all of this toxic waste and find out the real losses, which are being hidden by the Federal Reserve right now to the tune of trillions of dollars.